Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm John Gray, and we're delightfully living here.
And it's such a beautiful day. I'm Peggy Burton.
It is outstanding outside
It is
today.
so
It's going to
pretty.
be 72 degrees and sunny.
And snowing in
Perfect.
Los Angeles.
And snow
Can you
will let-
believe that?
Do you really care what happens in Los
No,
Angeles?
Not really,
don't.
but I just think it's strange.
It is strange.
Strange.
Well, and it could be snowing here in a week.
I know.
I mean, that's Tennessee weather.
We don't need to get set up thinking it's not going to
No,
change.
no. But I know something that is happening quick soon is the clock goes back.
That's right. Is that this week?
I don't think so. I think it's next week or something like that. But it's soon. It's not soon enough as far as I'm
Right.
concerned.
But we
I
have.
hate it being dark at 5 o'clock in the
I
afternoon.
do too. I really do. I always have. And when we lived in London, my children would go to get on the school bus and disappear. It'd be so
In the fog.
in the fog and in the dark. I wouldn't see them. I'd hear the bus move away, but I wouldn't know that they got on it. Oh me, times have changed.
But there's a lot of stuff going on, you know.
There's so much going on in this town, I can't keep up with it.
It's really difficult. One of the things that happens this weekend, this is two things happen this weekend. I'm sure there's more than that, but one is Miss Tullahoma contest,
Right, I saw that in the paper.
and we'll be down there for we've been doing it for 30 years. Down there all day Saturday. You've got the Little Miss. Well, the Junior Miss is first. It starts at 1:30. Then the Little Miss, and then the Big Miss. Big Miss starts about 7, I believe.
Why do I think the Little Miss ought to be first? And that the
Well,
the
it
least
is
people?
not first
Oh, it's not going in.
because we've had a Little Miss forever. As long as there's been a Miss Tullahoma contest, there's been a Little Miss
Little Miss.
Tullahoma contest.
Is there an age
The-
limit? I'm sure there is. I don't know
Kindergarten, I think.
Who the little Miss is and so on and
6,
so forth.
something like that.
And are they all filled up? Probably.
I have no
may
idea.
They may still be taking recipients.
It's too late to get in now, probably. I don't know.
Well,
They probably have the brochure printed and all of that.
might be.
Miss Woodard is usually pretty on top of all of that
does a
stuff.
great
So,
job.
you know,
She really does.
That'll be there on Saturday, and we'll be down there. I'll be down there probably from 12 o'clock till 10 o'clock.
You better get a nap that morning.
And you know what Saturday is?
I don't have a clue.
That's my birthday. I'm going to be spending my birthday at
You're
the
gonna
Miss Tullahoma
work it.
contest. So,
Happy pre-birthday.
well, thank you. I appreciate it.
You be 39 like me?
No, I'm 74. Be 74.
That's hard for me to believe.
It's
Seems
hard.
like-
It's hard to believe we're as old as we are. I'm really glad to still be here.
Oh yeah,
You know, there's a lot of
well,
people
I'm
that-
especially glad to
Oh
still
yeah.
be here.
There's a lot of people don't make it.
You're right.
It's not for children. Getting
No,
old is
no,
not
it's
for
not.
young people.
It is.
The young people aren't tough enough to survive it. So,
It is
a couple of things.
interesting.
I want to read because of that. Birthdays come. This is out of my Loku book that you can buy by getting in touch with me. One for every day of the week. Birthdays come and birthdays go. One measure of success is the ability to get a year older.
There you go.
You know, and let's see here. I've got some other things that are close at hand.
Do you have any?
Hate the noise spewed by the boys. Don't like how it feels when you're forcing the deal. When it's all you can stand to work the plan and the face in the mirror looks strange, change.
Right. That's what a lot of people don't know.
You don't like it? Change.
Right, and if you're unhappy with yourself, then change
Fix it.
yourself. You can do it.
This is for all of you guys out there like me. Silver hair on head, chest and back. Firm pectorials transformed into breast. Holy scopes, what's happened to me? I look like an old ape. battered, beaten, bruised, broken, scraped, scratched, scarred, stretched, torn,
That's me.
both physically and emotionally, until you wake wrapped in the miracle of new skin.
That's nice.
Yeah, you can have new
That's
skin
nice.
every day. Hardworking, strong, smart, fun, loving, a teacher, a preacher, a nurse, a cook, a friend. One that will never give up on you. Always seeking your best. Every day should be her day, Mother.
That's, of course it should.
So there you go. Can't be born without one of them. So,
And
you know,
how lucky you
just a
are
few
if
things.
you happen to have a mother that loves you.
yes.
There's a lot of mothers out there that couldn't care less about their children, and that's very sad.
You know, but you can get one of these. All you have to do is get in contact with me here at the studio. It's my Loku book, and there's 364 of them in there, and they talk about all kinds of things.
How many books have you released now? Of the Loku.
Oh, of these?
Yeah.
I don't know. This is the third edition. This is the third printing,
And
I'm
you're-
out. I'm just about out, so I'm
Yeah.
gonna have to get
That's
some more.
great.
So I'm waiting. I have an exciting thing. I'm waiting before I print anymore because I took one. You know, I love spending time in Bell Buckle.
Oh, I do too.
It's a unique little town. It's a magical little place, and one of the most magical good witches, fairy, princesses, however you want to say, lives there, and she is our state poet laureate,
Right.
and that's Maggie Vaughn.
I know, she's wonderful.
And she's just magical. She just twinkles
Yeah.
when you're around her. And I go visit Maggie from time to time. And usually Maggie reads. You know, she has a website, and you can go on her Facebook, and she reads every day on Facebook Live.
Wonderful.
And
I'll look
different
that up.
poems and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And so last time I was down there, I carried her one of these books, and then I had some stories, so I read to her. And we just had a wonderful time. And she called me after she had read this book, and she said, "You need to publish this book." Said, "This book is outstanding."
Yeah.
And she said, "It's just the stuff in it's just unbelievable." And I said, "Well, thank you." I said, "You know what? It'd be nice if you'd write me a foreword."
And she did.
Well, she's in the process of doing
Good.
that. So I'm really excited about the fact that I hopefully will have a foreword from Maggie Vaughn, the state poet laureate of Tennessee.
Do you happen to know what the criteria is for?
You know, I
Poet laureate.
really don't know. I know that Maggie wrote something for the 200th anniversary of the state.
She's probably
And our
focused on
100th anniversary, 150th or whatever. And she was given a scholarship to go to Quarry Farm, where Samuel Clements wrote, and wrote a lot of his books. And she spent a week in his house.
Yeah, I remember.
slept in his
telling me
bed.
about that. Right. That was.
Foretasting Heaven at Quarry Farm is the name of the book, and that's got all the
That's,
poems that she wrote while she was there. Maggie's just a delightful lady. So this book has a whole lot of interesting stuff in it. Everything from the sublime to the ridiculous.
Right.
You know, so love to share it with you. And then what else is happening? We've got, I think you have something. There's plays going on at South Jackson. But I think you have an event coming up. I think Jim and Inge Wood are going to be on next week.
St. Patrick's Day on the
Yes.
7th. It's actually on St. Patrick's Day, which is the 17th of March.
Yes, and I think
think
Jim
that's
is
on a
going
Friday. That's on Friday.
Jim and Inge are going to come on next week.
Oh, good.
And play, and that's Jim Wood and his lovely
Well,
wife Inge.
And they have put together a fabulous St. Patrick's Day set of music.
Right.
And I think they're bringing dancers and quite a.
Yeah, they're putting a show on. It's a real show.
And it'll be very nice.
It's not a outside behind the bar kind of a
Jim is a fabulous
picking.
violinist and fiddler. I always say that he can do
Well,
both.
he's a consummate professional.
Do you know the difference between a fiddle and a violin?
The way it's played.
Right. A lot of people don't realize that. You know, you can be a great violinist and you can still be a fiddler
And use the same instrument.
and use the same instrument.
Just
That's right.
the music. Sort of like, yeah, that'll work.
He played for when we did Patsy Cline at the Civic Center.
Right.
He was in that orchestra. That was a really good group.
It was. That was an outstanding show. So, you know, there's a lot goes on down at South Jackson.
I don't think it ever
And
stops.
It never stops.
There's something going on all the
A lot of
time.
things happening.
I think the chamber,
Chamber Coffee's there today.
that's what I was going to say, and I think they have a Mardi Gras theme, and it's going to be very nice. I'm guessing,
Reckon they'll have any king's cake?
probably.
Bet they will. Bet they will. All right, so we have a lot of people on the show today, a lot of things to discuss, and we're just glad you're watching, and just stay tuned. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
The Duck River Watershed Society wants to invite you to our second annual spring cleanup on Saturday, March 4th at the Fire Lake Public Use and Boat Ramp. We are a nonprofit organization that focuses on ensuring the Duck River watershed continues to benefit those who live, work, and recreate on it. We need volunteers to help with cleaning up parts of Normandy Lake down to the winter water drawdown line. Sign up at our website, duckriverwatershedsociety.com, and help do your part.
Hi, my name is Ringo, here at Barkview Senior Living. They're human-friendly. That's why I love it here, and so does my senior human. When they want a bite, they get chef-prepared meals, and so do I. Movies in the theater, day trips, walks on the trail, and other senior humans to play with. The grass and the grounds are exquisite. It's everything my human needs to be healthy and active. Barkview. A Parkview Senior Living. For your dog's best friend, you.
Every day, thousands of kids start vaping. And I can't let this happen to my kid. Of course, it's awkward to talk to your kids about the dangers of vaping. Hey, bestie, how sketch is vaping? It's hard to get their attention. Ready? Go. Yes. Look at that. Yeah, you even turn yours over. So if you want to talk to your kids about the dangers of vaping, you got to get it trending.
No, you're doing it wrong.
Let's go.
Can we talk?
Yeah, what's up?
Visit talkaboutvaping.org for tips on when and how to have the vape talk.
We teach Parkinson's patients how to move big and not let the Parkinson's slow them down. I've had patients I've treated in-house that could not even stand up, could not roll over in the bed, left the facility walking with a walker, have come back to us in outpatient and continued their big program and are now completely, handling life. The success of the program is just phenomenal.
Let us champion your recovery. Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I'm an assistant to help you prevent wildfires.
Dude, I've got this. I've been camping since I was 5 years old.
But I am a camping influencer.
You know what? I'll bet you $5. Okay. Assistant Smokey, what is the best way to put out a campfire?
To put out a campfire, drown with water, stir, drown again. Then make sure the fire is out cold by feeling with the back of your hand.
Wait, really?
I'll take the $5.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Welcome. I have with me this morning Cheryl and Shelley. Shelley is the canine, and what a sweetheart. Tell me how you got the dog.
So Shelley came to us as a stray. Right now she is Still on stray hold. If they come in without a collar, they have 3 days to reclaim. If they come in with a collar, they get 5 business days.
So if you know somebody out there that's missing a dog.
Yes, Shelly's very sweet, very pretty, was very well cared for. She probably has an owner.
She looks very healthy.
But she had no collar, no microchip, no rabies tag, so we have no way to track her.
No way to track her. And she may have run away up in a thunderstorm.
She could have through the storm.
Or somehow just gotten out and got lost. But do you know what kind she is?
She's some kind of cattle dog, maybe a healer, yeah, something like that. But so we'll have her, we'll hold her the 3 business days.
She's a healer and a face licker.
Oh yeah. And then we will, after that, she will legally become property of the city. We can have her spayed. We went ahead and updated her shots because when they come in, we normally do it within the first 3 days.
That's
but if they
wonderful.
come in younger, we go ahead and do it just to make sure they've got them. So she's had her distemper, parvo, bordetella, and a triwormer to take care of intestinal parasites. And then when she becomes, if an owner doesn't claim her, she will get spayed, microchipped, she will be heartworm tested, put on prevention, and have her rabies updated as well.
And be ready to be
And then
adopted.
she'll be ready to be adopted.
And if someone wanted to foster her, is she fosterable?
For now, she is fosterable for now, with the understanding that if an owner comes for her by Wednesday, we would return her.
Yeah.
And then after Wednesday, she could continue to be fostered until the point where she was spayed. And that's when, after they're spayed and updated on their rabies, that's when we go ahead and make it legal.
Now, if there's somebody out there that owns this dog, during the fostering, are they allowed to come and get it?
Yes, if they get it within the 3 business days, then yes, we always want to reunite the dogs with their owners if they have one out there. They have to bring proof of rabies and ownership, just their vet papers, some photos showing that they're there with the dog. She's got some pretty distinct markings on her, so...
Oh, I don't see how anybody could not recognize this dog with her spotted legs and the 3 colors. She's brown, she's gray, 4 colors, brown, gray, black, white. Shelly, you're a keeper.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody needs to call in and get her, or take a chance on getting her.
Oh, yeah, I think she has a great chance of
I just
finding a
feel
good
like
home.
whoever owns her, if they find out that you have her, they're going to want her.
Yes, exactly, and that's what we hope.
They're probably crying about it.
Yeah, we put them out on our Facebook and everything, and a lot of the officers and everything even spend time off checking the lost and founds, because if we have one that we know is ours and someone's looking for, we want to reunite them.
How many do you have in the
We have
shelter?
42 right now, and we're equipped to hold 36.
And you said you had a bunch of puppies.
So we've got, they're puppies, but they're 4 to 6 months old. We've got a couple now that are too young to be spayed or neutered, and they could be fostered up until the point, and then we have several that we do that way. We foster them to the point where they are old enough to have their medical things done, and then we do the adoption after that.
Cheryl, how long have you been working for the shelter?
I started August 24th, 2021, so about a year and a half.
So you've been at it a while. For people that don't know where the Tullahoma shelter is, well, there's the phone number. You can call and find out, but it's very close to everything and easy to find. And do you all have enough room now that you remodeled?
At the moment, we have, like I said, we have 36 kennels and we have 41 dogs in house right now. So we've got dogs. We've got the old shelter. When it's pretty outside, we can use it for a few dogs.
Luckily, it's been nice.
Yeah, a few of the runs still work. Some of them don't. And so we also have dogs in our offices and kind of in the bathroom, sometimes in the kitchen, in little fenced off areas.
You've got here a dog, there a dog, everywhere.
We make it work.
Do y'all ever need people to come in and walk the dogs?
Oh yeah, we have volunteers. We have them come in Monday through Friday, 8 to 2. That's when our kennel attendant's there in case the officers have to go out. They're welcome to come in. This Friday we had a lady come in and she took a dog out. She took Buster, he's our longest resident.
Yeah.
Took him out, got him a pup cup at
How
Starbucks.
sweet.
She took him all around town for about 2 hours, let him meet everybody.
That's wonderful.
So we do that as well.
And you're constantly looking for foster people.
We are, even if it's just for a week or two,
Yeah.
because we've got some dogs that don't do very well in the shelter environment. They are stressed, they lose some weight.
And they're not used to a lot of other dogs, maybe.
Yeah, and some of them are scared, and so we try to move those and find them better rooms to where they're...
Has this dog seemed scared?
She hasn't, but right now she is in she was actually in the restroom, and I put her there on Saturday because it was raining so much on me, and on Sunday the ACO came in and said she was sitting in the bathroom sink. So we had to move her for her safety, so she's in one of the outdoor kennels, unfortunately, right now. But she seems fine, but we've got one that we picked up last week that is just sitting in a ball. And we're hoping to get a foster for her because she really
needs some individual attention.
She does. And I think when I left, Officer DeTulo was bringing her up into her office to kind of sit up front while we were up in the back working. But we've got an adoption event coming up.
When is that?
It's March 11th with Tractor Supply. So it's coming up soon.
This weekend, isn't it? Next weekend, 2 weeks.
Yeah, so it's coming up with Tractor Supply. They're doing an event, and they're going to have vendors and everything. They invited us out, so it's March 11th, 8 to 2.
8 till 2.
And we'll have
You'll have
volunteers
all
out.
Your dogs, or a lot of them?
As many as I can get volunteers. I only like to have one dog per handler, one person. So one person watches every dog. So as many volunteers as I can get to come walk and handle dogs, that's how many I'll bring.
Yeah, so spread the word. And try to find some handlers for these dogs, because what a great opportunity to have them there and have people looking at them.
Oh yeah, we've done it once with Tractor Supply before, and I believe we had 3 adopted. So
I just can't get over how healthy this dog looks.
Oh, she's nice. Somebody's gonna be looking for her. So if Shelly is yours, get in contact with us. Just provide some.
Do you feel like she's full grown, or can you tell?
I can't really tell. Again, I thought she was younger when she came in, but she's got all of her full adult teeth, so we're guessing probably a year younger. And again, she hasn't been to the vet yet.
Yeah.
She'll do that after Wednesday if she hasn't been.
Chances are she may not get a lot bigger.
She may not.
She may be at pretty much an adult dog. And look at that grin on her face. I love that. Oh, well, we got to go here. And Cheryl, what a wonderful person you are to have this job.
Thank you.
And thank you, because animals are just like people to me. They need help. We'll be back.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
For many senior citizens, life looks like this, but it doesn't have to. When you make your home at Parkview Senior Living, life after retirement takes on a whole new meaning. Daily exercise options, fun outings, happy hour, game nights, movies and popcorn, arts and crafts, enjoying friends over chef-prepared meals. Parkview Senior Living, where you're always home, but you're never home alone.
He's a little bit of you, he's a little bit of me. He's the trash along the roadside of Tennessee. He's the garbage that we find. He's the dream we left behind. Lord, there ain't no lower class than Tennessee trash. A throwaway bottle or pop-top can may not seem much to a traveling man, but a little bit of litter goes a long, long way. Growing, getting bigger every day. Tennessee trash messing up the highways. Tennessee trash junking up the byways. Lord, there ain't no lower class than Tennessee trash. Lord, there ain't no lower class than Tennessee trash.
We have met the enemy, and he is us.
Is this the year you want to get fit? If so, check out just some of the things Tullahoma Parks and Rec has to offer. Kickboxing, aerobics, silver sneakers workouts, swim lessons, boot camp, water aerobics, basketball, Zumba, yoga, pickleball, lap swimming, treadmill, karate. Get fit, Tullahoma, and have some fun with Tullahoma Parks and Rec.
I was skeptical about getting the COVID-19 vaccine. There are a lot of opinions being shared. But I had the chance to talk with my doctor about my concerns. He told me the vaccines are backed by decades of research. and that the vaccines are proven safe and effective. Now I'm protected and ready to put this pandemic behind us. Join the millions of Tennesseans who have decided to give COVID-19 vaccines a shot. Visit covid19.tn.gov to find an appointment today.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back, and I'm glad to have a young man here with me today who represents a great group of individuals who have done something in this country for years. And these are the folks who love and care for ham radio. And my guest today is Steve Anderman, and he is here to talk about the Ham Fest.
Yes.
And that doesn't mean soup and sandwiches, does it?
It does not. If you can imagine a flea market with ham radio equipment, computer equipment, tools, kits, antennas, cabling, lots of computer equipment for sale. It is a flea market to buy, sell, and trade some of this equipment.
Right. Right. And y'all have this once a year, don't you?
It is every year. Usually the second Saturday in March, and this year, of course, it's March 11th.
Mm-hmm.
And the location, and I can never remember it, is First United Methodist Church at 208 West Lauderdale Street in Tullahoma.
That's about 2 blocks that way.
It is. It is.
Right downtown.
And what is that, behind the post office?
Yes, it is, right beside it.
And we've had smaller turnouts the last couple of years because of COVID.
Right.
But we are nearly sold out for this year's event.
Wonderful, wonderful.
There is an admission fee, of course, to get in, and then the different vendors come in, and
so y'all need to make a little money.
Yeah, it is our major fundraiser for the year,
right.
And that money goes to support the various pieces of equipment that we have for the public service events that we do, the Jack and Back Run, and numerous other races in and around Coffee County and the surrounding counties. And we have amateur radio repeaters, which require maintenance and upgrade and from time to time replacement. So this equipment gets heavily used, and we've got to have the funds to support it.
You know, we forget, we the populace, the citizens, with all of the technology that we have, we forget the service that the ham radio folks have given our country as far as a form of communication for years and years and years. And give us a little, we have a little bit of time here, and give us a little rundown on what actually ham radio has done in the past, and will be able to continue to do in the future.
Well, one of the things that we always look at is that our right to the frequencies that are given to us by the FCC here in this country, the International Telecommunications Union, we pay for them with public service, all right? Whereas a TV station or a radio station has to buy their rights to use certain frequencies in the AM broadcast band and the TV spectrum. We pay for that with our public service. We assist, as I said, on the Jack and Back and several other public service events. In an emergency, we're there as a means of backup communication. You have an event like Hurricane Katrina is a perfect example. Everything went down. Cell phones, the internet, police radio, fire radio, all went down due to, among other things, the lack of electric power, ham radios are basically self-supporting. And we are equipped with radios, transceivers as we call them,
right?
Combination transmit and receive units in our cars, in our homes that are emergency powered or operate on batteries, or now solar cells, which is the big thing right now, is everybody's going solar. So we communicate and are very much in touch with emergency management within each of the individual counties that we serve. And we drill with them, we exchange information, and they provide tower space for our antenna systems.
Right.
And shed space, if you will, for the equipment itself.
Right. So ham radio has been around a long time, and I think about one of the Die Hard movies that Bruce Willis is in.
Yes.
And he's gone to with some little genius to his buddy's basement cave, a command center. You know, and of course Bruce is going, command center, ha, and he picks up something, and the guy says, don't touch that, and he said, this is just a ham radio, and he said, yeah, when all this other stuff dies, this is how I'm going to communicate, to tell everybody where the demons are.
Well,
and I thought to have that in that particular spot, because it was a very tense part of that movie.
We have an expression, when all else fails, there's amateur radio.
There's amateur radio. And you know, I just thought that was a wonderful plug for ham radio in the middle of that blockbuster movie.
Well, there have been a number of movies that have portrayed amateur radio.
Yeah.
Some not entirely accurate, but for the most part, pretty much what we like to show publicly.
Right. But when it all falls apart, you guys will still be there.
Yes.
Country Boy will survive.
We had ham radio going back to the early 1900s with the invention of spark communication, and of course that evolved through the efforts of Fessenden and Major Armstrong and many, many others who contributed to the art of electronics and amateur radio. Back in the days of the early 19-teens, it was like the Wild West on the air. There was no licensing. Anybody could go to a hardware store and buy a radio kit and get on the air.
You're right.
The Communications Act of 1934 started to regulate that, and that's where we were given our frequencies to operate.
This is one place, we were talking earlier about Title IX.
Yes.
Women's sports.
Sure.
This is one place where there was gender parity since day one, because some of your great broadcasters were females.
Yes. You think of the Barbara Walters and
they're still involved in ham radio to this day.
Yes.
So it's not just a good old boys club; it's a good everybody's club.
It is. I know in my early days of ham radio, going back to the late 1960s and early 1970s. We had two ladies in our club who were private pilots. So,
outstanding.
You know, and they had a ball taking a ham radio up in an airplane.
Sure. Okay, well, we're running close on time here. Give us the date again, and the location is First Methodist Church.
First Methodist Church at 208 West Lauderdale Street here in Tullahoma. It's Saturday, March 11th. The doors open at 8 o'clock. And setup is at 6:30 that morning. So if you want to get there early, please do so. Of course, local hotels and motels are available for people that aren't so close in.
Sure. Steve Anderman, thank you, buddy. Appreciate it.
John, thank you.
No, you're welcome back. Okay?
All righty.
All right, good luck.
Thank you very much.
We'll be right back after these messages.
The Bookshelf in Tullahoma is the fundraising arm of the Coffee County Literacy Council. Since 1988, the Literacy Council's goal and purpose has been to support and promote adult basic education in Coffee County. We enable individuals to complete their high school equivalency exam, which helps them get better jobs or continue into higher education. The Bookshelf at 114 Southwest Atlantic Street in Tullahoma is where we sell used books which are donated to us by the community. Come see us, bring your books to donate, and join us as you find every genre of books that you can imagine.
I had a knee replacement, so they've got me in Life Care, which I'm very, very thankful for. I couldn't garden, I couldn't do my flower beds, I can't chase my little dogs. I have been in several therapy sessions for knees and back, and that's the best therapist I believe I've ever been to. It's tremendous because I'm able to walk again, but if it wasn't for the care, I wouldn't be where I am.
Let us champion your recovery. Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
Is this the year you want to get fit? If so, check out just some of the things Tullahoma Parks and Rec has to offer. Kickboxing, aerobics, silver sneakers workouts, swim lessons, boot camp, water aerobics, basketball, Zumba, yoga, pickleball, lap swimming, treadmill, karate. Get fit, Tullahoma, and have some fun with Tullahoma Parks and Rec.
Parkview Senior Living, active, independent senior living at its finest.
Do you love sports? Then you should know about STEM. Because maximizing nutrition, analyzing peak muscle performance, calculating the perfect shot, and more are all made possible by science, technology, engineering, and math. In fact, there are more careers than ever in sports science. So if you have a passion for sports, then think about getting involved in STEM and improve everyone's game on and off the field. Get inspired at SheCanSTEM.com.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Talking history about this and that. It's conversations with John and Pat. With John and Pat. With John and Pat.
Hello everyone, I'm John Rickman. And this is Pat Welch. And John, we're at segment 64. 64. Hopefully management doesn't kick us out the door. Hope there'll be more. Correct. I want to do a little song I wrote several years ago. I took a gentleman from Tullahoma over to our hometown of Chapel Hill sometime back, Mr. Robert Rainey. And this is a little song I thought about because... John, was he part of that great migration from Chapel Hill to Tullahoma? Yeah, just like the Irish came to America. In search of food and jobs. We didn't have a potato famine, we had a dirt famine. There was all rock. Everything was rock over there. Every now and then I go back to my home in the country. Back to the farm where I was raised. I walk down by the creek back where I played as a child. I tell you, those were sure some happy days. Out in the fields I see myself again as a young man, pitching hay bales high as a house, working with my shirt off out in the broiling sun. I learned where that work was all about. I thank God I was raised up in the country. Raised up in the country, proud and free.
Behind every rock and every tree, 10,000 precious memories, whispering my home, sweet country home. I wander through the woods with my faithful dog, old Jeb. How that dog would bark when he'd get near. He's the best darn squirrel dog a farm boy ever had. The sad part is old Jeb's been dead for years. Then from out the back door I hear my mama calling. It's time to eat, you children, come on in. We'd gather round the table, my daddy'd say the blessing. I wish that I could live those days again. And I thank God I was raised up in the country. Raised up in the country, proud and free. Behind every rock and every tree, 10,000 precious memories, whispering my home, sweet country home. Whispering my home, sweet country home.
Excellent, John. Excellent.
We didn't even get that a little applause that we normally get from management.
I think management was awestruck. I think management was awestruck.
But, oh, there they go. Hey, show that picture, Philip, of Mr. Robert. We loaded up in the car. I picked Robert up, and we took off to Chapel Hill, and we ate breakfast at the Country Diner in Chapel Hill. I looked around to see if there's anyone I knew. There wasn't anybody I knew there anymore. Everybody looks like strangers.
Now, how long ago was this, John?
This is about a month.
Okay.
Maybe
well, great.
Maybe a month and a half
This
ago.
is post our trips over there to the Ghost Light and the Trestle and those type of.
And Robert remembered people back over there. We went by a fellow down there that he used to work for, and no longer is that house standing there. We went down to Holt's Corner, and there used to be a cedar mill down there that was operated by George Haynes, that is no longer, of course, in operation. They provided a lot of
Holt's Corner, where there was a general store that had a
Lund store,
and it had a marking of where a flood had.
That was Caney Springs.
Caney Springs, okay.
Yeah, you've got it.
Well, it's not too far from there, though.
No, not that far. But there in Holt's Corner, we went under a trestle, another trestle, and went out to a graveyard where a lot of Robert's people were buried, and we took some pictures of those tombstones, and then we went to over to Annie Station, which is a little closer to Lewisburg, and not toward Lewisburg, toward Laws Hill. You wouldn't know where Laws Hill is, Pat,
but these suburbs.
But anyway, it was a good little trip, and we came back, and I'll always remember that trip we took. Philip, show that picture of Mr. and Ms. Rainey. Robert is a pillar of our church. I'm going to tell you, he's a kind, gentle person. There's Peggy, his wife, dear folks, and they've got 3 children. And Robert and Peggy, I think Robert worked at AEDC. The way Robert got to Tullahoma is a story in itself. His daddy, along with Charlie Osborne's father, a lot of people remember Charlie Osborne, and then Doc Noblet, who was only 7 years older than Robert, he said, so he wouldn't have been but 16 or 17 at the time, all came to Tullahoma together. And I think Doc Noblet had a couple of brothers too, but they cut timber at the Woods Reservoir. They were timber loggers, and they cut timber there to prepare for the lake that finally was put there.
Oh, there'd been plenty of logs to be brought out of that area.
And I suppose that there was work at AEDC from that point on, so they just stuck around, and Tullahoma became their home, sort of like it did for me. And put up that historical marker. we saw this. This is down near the Duck River Bridge. It's I can read it pretty good off the screen. Revolutionary War veteran is buried, family plot, born in Orange County, North Carolina, January 12th, 1763. He fought as a volunteer infantryman at Guilford Courthouse and elsewhere, a member of the North Carolina House of Commons, 1809 to 1810, and then again in 1814. He came here in 1823 and died in 1826. Isaac Rainey, he certainly was given some land because of his service in the Revolutionary War.
John, I'm not trying to upstage you on your pronunciation of
when did that
Guilford
ever become a problem with you, Pat?
That town is Guilford, and it is on the North Carolina. It's the lack of education is not the problem, Mary. It's your eyesight. It's Guil, and it's on the border of North Carolina and Virginia, in the middle of the state. There's a small liberal arts college there at Guilford that has that. It's Guilford College.
Well, Robert is a descendant of that Isaac Rainey fella, and then I would like for Philip to bring up someone who else came in the migration. This is my old doctor back when I was a child, Mr. N.H. Culbertson from Chapel Hill, and he was a doctor that would make house calls back at that time. And you'd go to his office, and I still remember the smell of alcohol and Benadryl, whatever they used, and I always remember that was, I didn't care for the smell, but it was a sterile type of environment. And Dr. Culbertson was our family doctor, and my sister Mary Johns, he delivered her. And of course, I was
at the house.
7 years later, at the house. Yeah. And that kind of a funny thing happened. Dr. Culbertson said to my dad, "Ike, I need some water. I need for you to put some water, boil some water for me." And Daddy, of course, he didn't know how much Dr. Culbertson meant, so he got a great big thing of water and set it on the stove, and Dr. Culbertson came in there and saw how much water was boiling. He said, "Ike, we aren't scalding hogs now."
Did that Mr. Culbertson come to Tullahoma, or that was his son?
Now,
I'm sorry.
Dr. Culbertson was my physician in Chapel Hill, and he stayed put in Chapel Hill. And now we go to the next picture.
All right.
Now, a lot of people will remember this gentleman. He came in the Great Migration to Tullahoma, and that's Mr. Bill Culbertson. And if you go down North Jackson, you will see Dave's Culbertson Funeral Home, and that's the Culbertson in the name there. And Bill was in Rotary with us, as you know, Pat.
He remained active in the funeral home probably through the 80s, I would think, didn't he?
Retired maybe the last years of his life and lived in Estill Springs, as I remember. And Bill was a good fellow. And one thing I always enjoyed about Bill, Johnny, how's Cat doing? And he'll always remember people that in his past, and I always appreciate
Which is your mother.
That, which is my
Catherine,
mother.
she went by Cat.
And Bill Culbertson's a gentleman, of course, and we just miss him. And Dr. Culbertson, a good old man. He one time was principal at Forest School in Chapel Hill. Dr. Culbertson, before I guess he got his medical degree. And then Robert Rainey, of course, and the Noblets, and then Charlie Osborne. Remember him quite fondly. So that is
the Great Migration was good for Tullahoma. It brought some stellar people to town.
Well, thank you, Pat. We appreciate that. You could have done worse.
That's right. It's kind of like when you came, it was kind of like the Great Famine was around 1850, but there was another wave in the 1920s or so from Ireland. So you were in that kind of second wave.
I was in the early 70 wave there.
Right.
But we're glad to talk about this Great Migration, and Robert Rainey, bless his heart, we love the gentleman, and we'll go to Chapel Hill again someday.
John, that was a great report on the Great Migration from Marshall County to Coffee County.
That's right.
And that'll shut down segment 64, hoping to come back because we've got the more stories to come. Thank y'all.
Talking history about this and that. It's Conversations with John and Pat. With John and Pat. With John and Pat.
Clayton's has been Tullahoma's shoe store for over 120 years, and Florence Hall continues that tradition today. We're the only shoe store in town that starts with measuring your foot to make sure you get the perfect fit in a quality shoe. That includes narrow through wide widths for men, women, and children. Clayton Shoes, the family shoe store you'll love.
We're gonna fit your style. We're gonna make you smile. Service and quality at Clayton Shoe Store. We're gonna fit your style.
My husband was diagnosed with a spinal infection. He lost his ability to swallow and the movement of his legs.
I couldn't turn over in bed, I couldn't walk, I couldn't eat.
They were just wonderful in the treatment and care they gave my husband.
I regained my mobility where I was able to go home.
It is miraculous.
Let us champion your recovery. Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
STEM is everywhere. Like here, behind the scenes of The Walking Dead.
When we break down clothes, we tumble it with trisodium phosphate, rock salt, and dish detergent.
We stitched together images of our model and created a 3D set that can be walked through in a VR headset.
We're able to turn 12 walkers into 1,000 walker boards.
STEM can create new worlds on and off the screen. What will you make with STEM? Get inspired at shecanstem.com.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
You know, ladies and gentlemen, when I was in the military, I spent some time, I was in the supply. And as part of supply was food and feeding the troops. And I spent some time in the kitchen and with an old mean mess sergeant. And I've seen something before that I didn't particularly like to see. And as if you ever saw ham come through the line and it was green, that meant they'd already tried to wash the mold off of it and it didn't work. So you didn't want any part of it. But today, we've got two gals in here that are going to show you and tell you about some green ham. And you know it's good because it's got green eggs that goes with it. We got Bertha and Rosemary here today, and we're going to have green eggs and ham, and it is for what?
The Imagination Library of Coffee County.
I got you there, didn't I?
You did. You did, as you always do. As you always do.
Well, when is this?
It'll be this Saturday, March the 4th, from 8 until 10 at Dameron's Restaurant in Tullahoma. So we just welcome everyone to come out, and it's one of our many fundraisers. But you know, being a nonprofit, it's something that helps us to give back to the community.
Well, you know, girls, money, as we were just discussing, is always hard to find for those who need it.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like sometimes those that got plenty of it don't have any problem finding it.
Mm-hmm.
But our nonprofits and our philanthropic groups have a hard time finding money. And, you know, during COVID and all that, people weren't working and money tightened up. And what you do with the Imagination Library is a wonderful thing. And this is a wonderful way that people can come and help you raise money and have fun. And bless Gloria Dameron for all the work she does in feeding folks in this town and running her establishment. And she I don't guess she could ever give too much. She just gives and gives and gives.
That's right.
And that's where this is going to be. And tell us a little bit about Imagination Library. Exactly what is the goal there, and what is that service that you're providing?
Okay. Well, the Imagination Library is an organization, and we partner with the Governor's Early Literacy Foundation and the Dolly Parton Imagination Library. And what we do is we provide free books to the kids from birth to age 5, and it's at no cost to the families. So the fundraiser, such as the one we're having on Saturday, is one of the things that kind of helps cushion that, $75,000 or so a year that we have to spend to keep the organization going for our county.
And so you keep books in front of children until they're 5?
Yes, sir. Until they're 5.
And how are these families decided on?
Oh, it's not income based at all. It's for any child between the ages of birth and kindergarten is eligible for the program. We don't look at incomes, we don't look at where they live, how they live. As long as they're in Coffee County, we want to enroll them in the program. We have around an 85% enrollment in the county, which is very high. And we have a lot of transient in and out people here too, but we try to get them in. Every county in Tennessee has an Imagination Library. So what we can do is, and other parts of the country do too, we can transfer them into our program to become part of Coffee County.
Right.
And we also partner with Vanderbilt Heart and Hospital to provide books for children from birth. When the child is born in the hospital, the employees, nurses, whatever, will get the child registered, and the hospital, Vanderbilt Hearten, will provide the first book for free if they're born at Hearten Hospital.
Wow.
We also do online registration, which really helps our enrollment. I myself do the data entry, so I am quite aware of that process. In the past day or so, I've enrolled 5 new children just through email enrollments.
So your biggest thing that someone can do for you, other than donate, is to help you make people aware that this exists, and it is not by choice, it's for anybody. It's not, there's not a vetting process at all. It's anybody with children in the county, and that to me is just mind-blowing that's happening in that way. I think that's just magnificent.
Thank you.
And so you folks out there who might know someone who has children in that area, that age, or you have grandchildren, or you have anybody can get these books. And I read ravenously, and I have ever since I was a kid, because I was read too, and little books were available. There was a book we had a little library in our den. It wasn't this big, and it probably had 50 books in it, a little encyclopedia set and a dictionary and stuff. And there was a book about heroes, and one of them was Joe Magarac, and one of them was the one who beat the steam shovel through the mountain.
John Henry.
Huh?
John Henry.
John Henry and Pecos Pete, and all of these early superheroes is what they were. Compared to now, they'd be a superhero. But they were in a book, and they were illustrated. And it was just like you could open that book and you could just fall right into it with them. And how wonderful for that. And you're helping kids, any kid, not somebody special or not somebody in a bad situation, any kid at all.
Yes, sir.
Read. Bless you, girls. Just outstanding.
Thank you.
So, with that said, you best go to Dameron's on Saturday morning, get you some green eggs and ham, and I promise it'll just be food coloring. It won't be anything else. And visit, and will you have books there?
Well, we'll have those
Samples of books,
we'll have
samples of books
usually
where
we have
people can
samples
see.
of books and everything.
And we usually have a
Who
reader.
picks what the books are?
Dolly Parton, who heads this organization, has a group of professional educators, child development specialists that pick the books. These are not just random books. These books come at each stage of the child's development. There'll be a book about colors. There'll be a book about numbers. As the child progresses, there'll be other books to deal with maybe feelings and emotions and things like that. The last book is Welcome to Kindergarten. And this is right before the child enters kindergarten. The first book is The Little Train That Could.
Right.
So in between there is you just end up with a library of 60-some books the child does.
60?
Well, every month for 5 years. My math may be a little off.
That's
but
it.
Yeah. So you'll end with 60-some books. And these books are not only limited to the preschool years, but when the child starts to read, they can read these books themselves too.
Sure.
So it's a gift that keeps on giving.
What do you think about these two girls? Thank y'all so much for being here. I'm
Thank you for having
excited.
us. I'm excited too.
This is
And that's
wonderful.
Saturday morning. Dameron's Restaurant starts at
8 o'clock.
and
and
it's I'm sure it's a reasonable price.
$10.
$10. Go over there, visit with some of your literary friends, and they might not be but that tall.
Right.
You go get you some of that green eggs and ham, girls.
4
Thank you
years and
so much.
Yeah, children 4 years and younger eat free, so you can't.
What?
Eat that. I know. There you
Kids
go.
eat
There,
free?
Yeah. Yeah, four,
And it's
if you're 4 years and younger, so turn back those clocks.
All right.
That's right.
I love these girls. We'll have them back, and you go give. If you can't, drop by Dameron's at another time, or find these young ladies and hand them some money, because it's for a good cause, and we want to see children read, and we want to see their parents reading to them as well. We'll be back after these messages.
Hey Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry, I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
For many senior citizens, life looks like this, but it doesn't have to. When you make your home at Parkview Senior Living, life after retirement takes on a whole new meaning. Daily exercise options, fun outings, happy hour, game nights, movies and popcorn, arts and crafts, enjoying friends over chef-prepared meals. Parkview Senior Living, where you're always home, but you're never home alone.
Okay, here we go.
3, 2.
3, 2, 1.
COVID-19 has been a really long and difficult fight.
So when we start talking about COVID, I completely get it. It's frustrating.
We've all been impacted one way or another.
The fight against COVID is also changing really quickly.
And it's sometimes really hard to keep up. So here are a few things we know.
We are not fighting the same virus from 2020.
Right now, new variants are a lot more contagious and need to be taken seriously.
Getting vaccinated and staying boosted is the best way to keep you protected from COVID-19 and help you stay out of the hospital.
Even if you got COVID before, it's important that you go get your COVID booster.
COVID vaccines are safe.
Much safer than getting COVID-19.
We all want this to end sooner than later.
So go ahead and do things.
Go out and live your life, but get vaccinated. Stay boosted.
We can all do our part.
And get back to living. You can go to getvaccineanswers.org for more information.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
pleasure to join you today. And camera ladies, good morning. Thank you, John, for that introduction. We've had some responses to our trash talk a couple of weeks ago on garbage, but a lot of people said, well, I didn't know that. Well, that's what this program's all about, sharing some of those wonderful moments with you that have happened in the many years ago and are happening right now. And I want to discuss with you a topic that never has an end to it. There's so many facets of it. It's been part of our community for many, many years, and that's the railroads. What about the railroads? We've shared some things about the railroads before, but a little bit different twist to it this morning. I'd like to share with you some of the famous or infamous people that have ridden the rails and have graced our city from time to time. For example, many, many years ago in the middle 30s, there was a famous gangster by the name of Al Capone from Chicago, and the officers were transporting him to the Atlanta Federal Penitentiary, and he rode the Dixie Flyer from Chicago to Atlanta, and word got out that he was going to be on that train one morning, up in the morning, and so sure enough, they let him. The officers let him go out on the observation platform at the end of the train, and I remember we watched him, and he had a big wide brim hat on, and I'm sure an expensive suit that he'd been wearing as leader of the gangsters in Chicago, and he reached up to take his hat off to wave to people, and sure enough, one half of the handcuffs was still on his wrist. But it was interesting, and to read about or hear about a person like that on the radio, and then to see him come through Tullahoma. And another well-known person that came through town one time on the train was Lindbergh, the famous flyer that flew the Atlantic Ocean and soloed many, many years ago. But Lindbergh, that's been part of our history and part of our country for a long, long time. I remember, too, that one time the President of the United States, Franklin Roosevelt, was on a train from Warm Springs, Georgia to Chicago, and I don't know for what reason, whether the weather was bad, which certainly wouldn't have made any difference on the railroad, but it might have been rough or whatever. But they had this, of course, the presidential train, and it backed up in the siding that goes to up the branch line, and they parked his train there that night between what is now the Mid-South Uniform Company and the Exxon gas distributorship there, and the FBI, the Secret Service was all over town that night, just making sure everything was secure, you know. And I thought it was interesting that they'd back into Tullahoma to let the president have a good night's sleep there without the train running. And of course, you know that Tullahoma has the widest street in the world, bisected by the railroad that was built between 1850 and 1855, well known throughout the world as the widest street in the world in Tullahoma, Tennessee. And then one little side note about the railroads of some celebrities, infamous celebrities that graced our city was the hobos. We had a lot of hobos that came through on the freight trains especially back in the early and middle 30s, and they were people just like us that had fallen on hard times or liked to travel or whatever, and they would stop and go to some of the homes along the Atlantic Street there and ask for some food, and you know, they never did cause any trouble at all. They were mostly gentlemen. Never saw any female hobos, but we saw a whole lot of many hobos, from youngsters to oldsters alike. And one famous one in particular went to the R.H. Mitchell home that before it burned stood on South Atlantic Street right in front of Hogg's Hardware Company there on the corner of Warren and Atlantic. And this hobo asked for a handout, which they gave him, and asked him, I think, to spend the night with him, which he did. But he didn't have any money to pay, but said, I'm an artist and I would like to decorate one of your rooms. And so they wondered about him, but anyway, he did. They got some paint for him, and in their sitting room, he decorated that room with beautiful artwork from the baseboard all the way up to the ceiling and around the mantelpiece and the walls and around the windows. And that building was sold 15 or 20 years ago, and the family asked me if I would go down there and photograph that room that the hobo had painted, which I did, and it's beautiful. The ceiling and all was just real beautiful. And of course, time went on, and there weren't many hobos. And I think there's an association or a club, whatever they call themselves, the Hobos of America, that have a reunion in Iowa every year that's interesting. But of course, the other people that we know well that have come through on the train that we probably didn't get any publicity on it, but they came through. And one of the most important and well-liked and popular pieces of railroad equipment that came through Tullahoma was the Ringling Brothers and Barnum Bailey's circus. When they moved from Nashville to Chattanooga, there were 4 trains. The Cook train went through first, real early in the morning, and then the animals went through on the second train, and the third and fourth train were the actors and acrobats and circus administration crew. And one time my grandfather told me that the circus train was ahead of schedule, so they stopped in Tullahoma to feed and water their animals, and they thought, well, we'll just put on a little show here in Tullahoma for the folks here. And there was a vacant lot a couple of blocks up on East Grundy Street, and they took some of the elephants and tigers and some of the others up there and put on about a 30 or 40 minute show for the folks in Tullahoma, and they really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. Of course, the circus now, I think, goes by truck mostly, but that was a real treat for the Tullahoma people to see. And I'd like to say this is not the end of the story, because there's a whole lot more to come. And we hope in the meantime you have a good day and a good week. Thank you.
The Duck River Watershed Society wants to invite you to our second annual spring cleanup on Saturday, March 4th at the Fire Lake Public Use and Boat Ramp. We are a nonprofit organization that focuses on ensuring the Duck River Watershed continues to benefit those who live, work, and recreate on it. We need volunteers to help with cleaning up parts of Normandy Lake down to the winter water drawdown line. Sign up at our website, duckriverwatershedsociety.com, and help do your part.
Hi, my name is Ringo, here at Barkview Senior Living. They're human-friendly. That's why I love it here, and so does my senior human. When they want a bite, they get chef-prepared meals, and so do I. Movies in the theater, day trips, walks on the trail, and other senior humans to play with. The grass and the grounds are exquisite. It's everything my human needs to be healthy and active. Barkview. A Parkview Senior Living. For your dog's best friend, you.
Every day, thousands of kids start vaping. And I can't let this happen to my kid. Of course, it's awkward to talk to your kids about the dangers of vaping. Hey, bestie, how sketch is me? It's hard to get their attention. Ready? Go. Yes. Look at that. You didn't even turn yours over. So if you want to talk to your kids about the dangers of vaping, you got to get it trending.
No, you're doing it wrong.
Let's go.
Can we talk?
Yeah, what's up?
Visit talkaboutvaping.org for tips on when and how to have the vape talk.
We teach Parkinson's patients how to move big and not let the Parkinson's slow them down. I've had patients I've treated in-house that could not even stand up, could not roll over in the bed, left the facility walking with a walker, have come back to us in outpatient and continued their big program and are now completely, handling life. The success of the program is just phenomenal.
Let us champion your recovery. Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I'm an assistant to help you prevent wildfires.
Dude, I've got this. I've been camping since I was 5 years old.
But I am a camping influencer.
You know what? I'll bet you $5. Okay. Assistant Smokey, what is the best way to put out a campfire?
To put out a campfire, drown with water, stir, drown again. Then make sure the fire is out cold by feeling with the back of your hand.
Wait, really?
I'll take the $5.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Crazy Julia's behind the camera over there. That's why I'm laughing. God love her. We are just so fortunate to have the people we have work with us, and that's Julia and Andrew Todd and Julia's Pete. She and Pete and that whole bunch. Philip back there in the back and CJ, and we're just proud to have them here, and I'm proud to have my girlfriend here today.
Hi.
Do you realize that I'm having I've already told you I'm having a birthday, and I'm gonna, hopefully I get to spend a little bit of time. I'm gonna be around a bunch of beauty queens later on in the day, but I'm gonna wake up with my beauty queen that morning. She's right here with me today, and she's here because we are about ready to kick off and get in gear for the 4th annual Alzheimer's Tennessee Purple Olympics.
That's right, John. We're very excited about that. Can you believe it's a fourth one already? Alzheimer's Tennessee is proud and honored to serve people in the state of Tennessee who are affected by dementia. In Coffee County alone, we have over 800 families affected, and it's one of the leading causes of death in this county and all over the country and the world, with over 6 million people affected worldwide.
Right.
But we are working to eradicate it, to find ways to help families, help care providers. And one of the things we do each year is have a fund, that's capital F-U-N, lowercase D-R-A-I-S-E-R, a fundraiser called the Purple Olympics Walk. And it's happening again at Tullahoma High School gym on Saturday, May 6th. And we want y'all to come out and have fun with us. We will have registration beginning at 8:30 that morning, and we'll wind it up about 12. But we have lots of games and fun times, good music, free food, and we again would invite you to come out. Build a team. It could be a team of one person, or it could be 30 people. It could be your family. It could be your Sunday school class. It could be co-workers, any group that you hang with and you'd like to spend a fun Saturday morning with. We invite you to get them together and come over. I want to show you, you'll be the first to see our brand new socks. We are known for our socks, and I have worn a pair today orange striped with purple, and they help us remember that we want to sock out Alzheimer's. And on Friday, March 10th, we are asking everyone who has a pair of socks to wear them because that is Sock Out Day. But this is a new model with bigger checks. You can just see those balls running over the goal line into the end zone. And then we have these this year, orange and purple. Of course, purple symbolizes or reminds us of dementia, and orange, Tennessee.
There you go.
So we are really thrilled to introduce these. They're $10 a piece, and you can get them from our office, which is at 309 North Jackson Street. We are asking that people pay for them first rather than taking a bunch out and selling them. But we need our payment up front, and then you can take your socks with you. We will also have some other sellable items. But we want folks to come and enjoy the fellowship we have together. We do have a lot of fun. And we also are very serious about our mission. And our mission is to make Alzheimer's a memory. So please come out, enjoy a morning at Tullahoma High School. We lean heavily on our junior ROTC friends who help us get set up, and then they help us tear down, because I'll tell you what, these old bones are getting older and achier, and we really appreciate the help of all of our volunteers, including the junior ROTC cadets. We also are happy to have the Tullahoma High School brass players and a percussionist to play Olympic-style music, and we will have a special parade around the gym floor honoring and remembering those who have been affected by a form of dementia and their caregivers. So it's just a day to celebrate, to raise awareness, and again, we'd love for you to come out. We're asking for a $50 donation to participate, and it's 8:30 to 12. You don't have to stay for the whole thing, but I bet you if you come, you won't want to leave until it's over. We also have a very popular prize and cake walk, and there are wonderful bakers all over Tullahoma and Manchester and parts unknown who come up with delicious cakes they give away, and we do that through our prize and cake walk. Other fun prizes to give. So it's just a morning of fun, a fellowship, free food, great music, and John will be there helping us out, and we do appreciate all the community support. If you need more information, please go to our website, which is altstennessee.org, or call us at 931-434. That's 434-2348. 434-2348. We'll sign you up, and if you want to volunteer with us anytime, there's a job for you waiting. So come. Socks to fit everybody. If you hang on to them, they make great stocking stuffers at Christmas time. And let me tell you, where we've given socks, when we show up again a year later, people say, "Where are my socks?"
Where are my socks?
Yeah, so
okay, folks, and that's going to be, again, the date?
May 6th.
May 6th. We'll have a lot of publicity coming your way. Team. Excuse me. We need teams to get in there, and we have a lot of fun. We'll tell you more about it as we get closer to it. But thank you for your attention, and let's make Alzheimer's a memory. We'll be back after these messages.
Smoking tobacco accounts for 3 of every 10 fire deaths in the United States.
Tullahoma Fire Department need you en route to a structure fire, 202 Main Street. Heavy smoke showing. Neighbors advise child trapped inside.
Lighters, matches, and associated smoking paraphernalia are the leading cause of preschooler fire deaths. We as firefighters know that most structure fires can be prevented.
I've got one! Command, this is primary search. We have a victim. Need EMS to meet us at the front door.
Please help us to give you a fighting chance. This can be prevented. Contact the Tullahoma Fire Department for a free home safety inspection.
What's a Tennessee vacation? It starts off like any road trip, and then, boom, adventure and thrills everywhere you look, which happens to be some of the most beautiful scenery in the country. Music here, history there, and all kinds of green in between. Come relax and unwind, or bring the crowd for some stargazing, or stargazing. Whatever you do, come hungry and expect an awesome soundtrack. It's all right here in Tennessee. We're playing your song. For a free vacation guide, visit tnvacation.com.
Come on. Yeah. Come on. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff. Like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, about all we can do right now is wave to you and tell you we enjoyed being with you. Hope you enjoyed seeing us. And look at these two good-looking gray-headed women over here.
And
I'm the luckiest man. I'm the luckiest man in the world.
If you recognize that dog, go foster it or take it home. Shelly the dog.
All right, we'll see you next time, folks.